Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, see that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase, and yes, it can be attached to a Picatinny rail on the standard AR-15 because of course it can be. It's awesome. Go to toppingtechnologies.com to learn more about that fun promo. Again, free flamethrower with every IT purchase. Lastly, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going to the business part of the podcast, you have Ford. Well, they're actually pausing production of the F-150 Lightning until 2025. Nearly a whole fiscal quarter, which is pretty ridiculous in terms of lack of demand for a product. Now, this comes to us thanks to Nico, who is a writer at The Drive, in which they say, quote, Ford is stopping F-150 Lightning production until 2025 because sales are that bad. They say that Ford EVs have been piling up on dealer lots, but CEO Jim Farley is still confident in the company's strategy around electric vehicles. There you can see the, I was about to say iconic. Well, not in all the good ways. It's kind of the outline of the F-150, the Ford F-150, but this is the electrified version, which it does have that unique little band that goes around the whole thing for the light, for the F-150 Lightning. It has a light bar that goes across it, which you see a lot of EV companies doing for the, or car companies doing for the EV models, which is a simplified way to delineate them. And then you have the grill. It isn't really a grill because, again, they don't need an actual grill. So it's there in texture and color only. And yeah, another great fun fact, if you're buying a new car or going to a dealership, one of the best ways to negotiate is just look up on the internet, what's the age of the vehicle on the lot? Now, that's one of the biggest metrics for car dealerships is the longer that car is on the lot, the more days it's on there, the more it's costing them money because usually they don't actually own the vehicle. It's called basically a fleet loan or a floor plan, more accurately. So every day that car is on the lot, they're actually paying interest on that car. Because again, they're not buying them outright in cash 999% of the time. So if they have such little demand that these cars are collecting dust on dealer lots, that's terrible news, and that's bad for the dealers. I mean, I suppose it's good news for the 18 people who want to buy these things, because, again, that means you have a lot of leverage in terms of the consumer. Because this means a lot of these are starting to just pile up by dealerships and collect copious amounts of dust and all type of dirt, which isn't good for EVs. They say, quote, Ford has announced it has temporarily paused F-150 production from mid-November until at least the end of the year due to the low demand and the state of dealership stock. It's a very polite way of saying people aren't buying that. Ford's EV pickup line in Dearborn will shut down at the end of November 15. As of now, manufacturing is expected to pick up on January 6th if people start to buy it again. I added that last part. They say, quote, we will continue to adjust production for optimal mix of sales and growth profitability, said Ford in a statement. This news comes after a recent Q3 earnings call in which CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, stated that the brand's electrical vehicle lost, $1.2 billion last quarter. Farley also expects a $5 billion loss for EV division in 2024 as a whole, which, I think it was, $132,000 per EV sold. Again, when you kind of take those numbers and divide by the EV sold. That being said, they're slowly moving in the right direction, where if they keep the same trajectory, they'll eventually make a profit on EVs. But again, things also come up, so we'll see. Now, here you can see, I don't know if you'd want to, but here you can see an F-150 allegedly driving down the street. I say allegedly because it is a Ford vehicle, so there's a high propensity that this is just an automated or maybe just a Photoshop. It's very rare to see the vehicles actually moving down the streets. I'm only partially kidding. And I say, quote, Ford EV losses aren't entirely resting on the F-150 Lightning shoulders, though. The automaker has a 100-day supply of F-150s as well, though it didn't specify how much of it is being represented by Lightnings, which, yeah, the shareholders should be irate. Give us the actual data, Ford. They're saying they have that much of a pilot for F-150s in general, but they're not delineating that the good F-150s actually make them money, also known as the one that have gas engines, or the F-150 Lightnings, which lose them money right now. Either way, 100-day supply, that's pretty bad. I mean, you want to, like most things in life, you want a good balance, but yeah, having that much. Now, they also have a 130-day supply of the bastardized, I added that last part, Mustang Mach-E's, and a 128-day supply of the E-Transit vans. Which, yeah, that's terrible. Don't get me started on the bastardized Mustang E-Mach, which Mustang in name only, obviously. Now, Farley said that things should look up for Ford's EV business in 2025, although it's unclear if he expects that progress to come from increased sales or reduced cost. According to Morgan Stanley analyst Adam Jones, Ford EV losses are projected to drop from $5 billion to $4.4 billion in 2025, which, again, that's slightly better. And granted, some companies take years to make a profit on a new product. EVs are even more, more difficult to actually get that long term. They also say, quote, the future of Ford EVs seems murky at the moment. This past August, it pushed back on its next generation electric pickup in 2027, delayed the new electric commercial van into 2026, and switched plans for its electric 3-row SUV plug-in hybrid, which, yeah, they canceled that because about 18 people wanted it, and about one of them would actually pay for it. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I don't see production. We'll see. I mean, I don't see demand for this picking up a lot Q1 next year. Now, granted, partially, say majority is it's still Ford's fault, but a big thing with auto industry right now for all companies is, well, unprecedented economic and political uncertainty, as well as high interest rates, which both don't bode well for one of the most expensive things most consumers will buy in their lifetime, which is an automobile. So a lot of people I know, anecdotally speaking, they're putting on pause on all major purchases. I think 2 people have bought cars past couple of years because their cars broke, and one of them, they got a new car just because Dodge was doing a fire sale, which, don't get me started on Stellantis, their state of business or lack thereof. But yeah, it's just not a great overall for the automotive industry. Ford also lost their place in terms of being the second automotive EV manufacturer in the U.S. by volume of EVs, where GM actually passed them up, with of course Tesla being on top. So not great news for Ford with the F-150 Lightning being, literally shut down. The demand is that low, which, again, that's nearly unprecedented in terms of automotive, because, again, doing all this takes time, energy, and resources. Shutting down a plant also, you have to ramp that up. I'm pretty shocked. I guess you shouldn't be too shocked that they're shutting down because of lack of demand, but let me know, do you know anyone who has actually bought an F-150 Lightning? Now, anecdotally speaking, well, perhaps better than the average sample size since I live in the great state of Texas, we have a lot of pickup trucks here. Now, I have seen 2 F-150 Lightnings, interestingly enough. Of course, there's nothing in the bed of the truck, and they weren't towing anything, but nevertheless, they did exist in the real world, and I was pretty impressed that the people actually bought them. But let me know, do you know anyone who has actually bought an F-150 Lightning, and do they enjoy it? Let me know in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, to anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.